Hi everyone, welcome to the Tell It to the Hearts Witches podcast. I'm your host Asteria, or some know me by Mimi. So today we're going to be talking about love magic, and there's a lot to unpack with this subject, and we could probably break this into multiple episodes. But for now, I'm just going to try to touch base on the most important topics about it. So this is a very controversial type of magic in the communities because it's often seen as messing with someone's free will and forcing someone to do something that they don't want to do. But there really is a lot of diversity and variety into what you can do in the realm of love magic. Also, love magic can go hand in hand with domination work. So, domination work essentially is what it sounds like. You're trying to persuade someone or compel them to do your bidding or to do what you want them to do, whether it be to change your behavior or reconcile with you, etc. So, let's talk on some basic love workings that you might find. Self-love. I think that that's really good to start off with if you're not really confident with yourself, and to really take the time to nurture yourself. And this can manifest in the way of doing like ritual baths or bubble bath, self-care, and taking the time to really make sure that your space is cleansed, it's sacred, and it's nice and warm and cozy. That's something that you can do by giving back to giving back to yourself, right? And there's sometimes like if you're wanting to bring in a romantic partner, you have to make sure that you yourself you're really stable as a person, because if you're not mentally or emotionally ready for a relationship, doing romantic workings can just escalate the situation down a path where you really don't want to take it. So it's always good to make sure that your cup is full, that you love yourself, that you feel confident and secure with yourself. And you know what? Not every day you're not going to feel like a Victoria's Secrets model every day. And that's fine. That's normal. We all have our down days and we all have our good days. But just try to make sure that you're pouring into yourself. So basic, like little love baths with maybe like a rose scented, what's it called, like a bubble bath soap, a rose scented bubble baths, rose scented incense, some flowery candles to really set the mood, and maybe rose quartz crystals, carnelian crystals, things of that nature can really help bring in the love. And maybe put some like goat's milk or like coconut milk in it to make sure that it's like moisturizing and you're bringing in the energy of like purification. Also, I would use herbs that are more like peaceful, like chamomile, lavender, things of that nature, to make sure that you're bringing peace into your life, you're cleansed, you feel good about yourself. And just do things that you enjoy, like do a face mask, do a foot spa, do something like that to really make sure that you're listening to your body and that you are taking care of yourself at the end of the day. So let's get into probably what we're all here for. Okay. The second thing that I commonly see in the realm of love magic is reconciliation work. So reconciliation is often done to bring back a partner. So you might see this with general workings called Come to Me, um, Adam and Eve candles, which is like a male and a female figure candle. And those are workings to bring back someone. Now, oftentimes there are people in different practices, they utilize certain saints like San Cipriano to bring back a lover. And if you want to dominate a lover, they might use a saint like Santa Clara, or not Santa Clara, Santa Marta, or La Dominadora, but I believe that that's a part of a closed practice. So those are some things that I have seen, but you can also use other pagan gods like Aphrodite, Venus, what's the Naya, what's the one I'm thinking of from Mesopotamia? Ishtar? Inanna. Inanna. Yes, you can use deities like that are associated with love. Also, Froya. And I would recommend just try giving offerings to them. Maybe February is a great month, and Fridays are a good time to give offerings to these deities and to form a good relationship with them if you're wanting your love life to be to be blessed. Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself. And I feel like if you are someone that wants a long-term relationship, and you're really wanting a partner or communion or connection, and this is something that you want to bring into your life this year, a step above worshiping deities that are associated with love or sex magic, I would go to deities that are associated with marriage, that take commitment and loyalty seriously, like Juno or Hera. Those are really great deities, and I think that it's often overlooked. And most of the time, when I see devotees of marriage deities, they're in committed relationships, they're engaged, or they're already married, and everything in the relationship and love life seems to be blooming and blossoming quite well. So that's something that you may want to look into if you're looking to give yourself something stable and long term. But if you're just looking for fun, then yeah, maybe you could just be honest and say, I just want something short and fun. So, reconciliation workings, it can be difficult depending on what the situation is that caused the two of you to drift apart or to break up. If it's very causive and you ended on bad terms, then you might have to find yourself doing several workings on this person. And these workings are very mental. They're very mental, and it can take a while to persuade the person to come back to you. So a lot of head work is going to be done either in the form of like using a puppet and speaking in over the head of the puppet and telling them, come back to me, you miss me. Also doing candle workings, also giving offerings to the spirits to drag this person back to you. It can be very tasking. So a lot of people, they get frustrated with love magic and they feel like it's a one and done thing. And it's not just a one and done thing. It needs several things. And sometimes a lot of people have concerns about it backfiring. Now, just like any other working, it can backfire. But if you're trying to bring someone to you, sometimes people subconsciously, even non-practitioners, they will fight and push back against you because they feel like something is wrong. And you may need to sometimes balance off this work with a more blessed approach or a more calm approach. Now, some practitioners might take an aggressive approach up front and force themselves onto the person. I feel like that maybe could work during later stages, but if you want to make sure that the work goes through, I would bless your space, cleanse it, and kind of pray over it. I would go into it like it's just a regular blessed working, and I would use basic romantic herbs like roses, maybe some lavender, things like that to bless the work, bless the working that you're wanting to do, and put some sugar around it or some honey to sweeten them towards you. You don't want to make the working so hostile right away. But as you layer the work, as you find yourself doing more work, then yes, you will need to be a little bit more forceful. You will need to be a little bit more aggressive. And the way that this translates work-wise is that you will be doing domination work. You will be doing head work. So that means that you need to utilize psychic herbs to get inside of their head, get inside your target's head, and make sure that they're constantly thinking about you, dreaming about you. And you also need to start saying things like, you cannot eat without thinking about me. You cannot sleep without thinking about me. I'm constantly, incessantly on your mind. I'm in your heart. I'm everywhere. You smell me. You see me. Everything reminds you of me. say things like that to where it just becomes all consuming, right? And domination herbs that you can utilize is calamus root is good for getting someone to talk to you, open up the channels of communication. Using licorice root, using Damiana. Damiana is very nice for doing like attraction workings and sexual workings like that. So those are some herbs that you can use to compel them, to draw them to you, to make it stronger in tandem, and use it in tandem with some romantic herbs such as jasmine, vanilla, um, what's another one? Rose, things of that nature. You can use that in tandem with those romantic herbs, those love herbs. But yes, so some, and catnip. How am I forgetting about catnip? Catnip is really good. I just got some that is good for drawing a lover to you. It's good on men. Women, you normally use it on male targets, because the cat energy is like very kind of seductive. It's sneaky, but also it like draws them in. It's luring. Like if you ever see cats when they're like eating catnip or smelling it, they go crazy. So yeah, that's how you can bring them in, like tease them. That's how you want to do it. Make it more seductive in nature. So there, those that is how you can bring a lover to you and reconcile. Reconciliation, I would focus more on the lines of communication. So maybe you would want to, maybe from the same pantheon or from the same religion, you might want to enlist an entity that's associated with communication and one that's associated with love to bless the work, to oversee the work, and to kind of help push it through. That is something that I would personally do if I want someone to communicate with me and open up their heart to me and speak to me. And also some practitioners, they might use animal parts to, like, such as a tongue, for workings like that. Like you'll be speak to me, you will always talk to me, and you will come to me. You might use brains to get them to constantly think about you. You might use a heart for them to be in love with you and things of that nature. That is how you can utilize that framework. So let's see, what else do we want to talk about? So now we have reconciliation, we have separation works, which is a kind of a category of love work. Separation works if you want to break up a couple. Definitely use more baneful herbs like maybe wasps, maybe bees or hornets or something of that nature, an animal that attacks, an animal that stings. If you're into using animal spirits and you work with that, I would use something like that to forcefully divide it. Maybe using bitter herbs to separate it, to sour a relationship and to quickly make it turn rotten. Using cemetery dirt to end that relationship, be the death of that relationship, the end of it. Those are things that you can use, and you can either use it in candle workings or put it in a jar, write a petition, and shake, shake, shake. But if you're going to do jar works, interact with that on a daily basis. Make sure that you're speaking into that so that it's not a stagnant working, it's consistent. And sometimes with these workings, like if a pair is very committed, like a marriage, if you're trying to end a marriage, this might be something that maybe a chime candle cannot do. This might be something that you might have to do with a glass candle. But if you know that the person has cheated in the past or they're prone to cheating, then you have a weakness. So divination also comes in hand, and based on what the weaknesses are within the target, you should target that, direct that, and hit that. So make sure whenever you're studying your target and you know what weaknesses or what you feel like they might be drawn to, attracted to the most. So if you feel like this person is not very loyal and you want to do a separation, then stir up infidelity and wish that upon them. And make sure that you're checking up on that working and make sure that it sours. You want to heat things up. You want to cause arguments. You don't want the two of them to be coming together. You want them to be attacking each other and be at each other's throats. That's how I would do a separation work. And also with separation work, also make sure that you're using domination herbs, like I mentioned earlier. So let's see. We talked about we talked about self-love. We talked about bringing a lover to you. We talked about separation work. Now I want to retouch on this subject. I know I posted about it on my TikTok, but we're going to talk about how sometimes people don't see results with love work. And here is why. So there are several factors that can go into this. Sometimes sometimes you might be drawn to someone in the moment and you might really, really like them. But the person may not be for you, and maybe it'll take you a little bit down the line to realize, oh yeah, I definitely wouldn't have liked this person. It would have satisfied me in the moment, but this person is not who I thought they were. So sometimes rejection and failed work is your protection, right? And sometimes the person might be thinking about you. They might be feeling your energy. They might be picking up on it. They might be thinking about you in a romantic way. But a lot of people, I feel like in this day and age, are getting a little bit less bold. So sometimes it helps for you to make your presence and your aura known to that person. And sometimes you need to be more proactive. You need to approach that person, right? To make sure that your working is going through, it is successful, right? So a nice book that I like is The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. And this is something that men and women can utilize, or anybody for that matter, regardless of your gender identity, can utilize to their advantage. So in the book, The Art of Seduction, he talks about different archetypes, and it's seductive archetypes. And I like that he uses historical examples like Josephine and Napoleon. And it's like a push and pull kind of dynamic that they had, but it drove him wild, it drove him mad. So I would recommend looking through those archetypes and seeing which one resonates the most with your personality. It's easier to make subtle adjustments to fit a persona of an archetype than have to change your look, your entire way. Like if you know that you're kind of shy or reserved, that you're more kind of like a hot and cold person, then a siren may not be the archetype that you want to emulate, right? So it just depends on what you feel like resonates with you the most, right? And even being a mystic or being in the spiritual practice is sexy. That is alluring. Religion and spirituality has been utilized to seduce people because it makes them feel like they are experiencing something that is once in a lifetime, right? So you want to really make sure that you can use that archetype to your advantage and feel like you are introducing your partners into something new, something nice, right? And it may work for some, it may not work for everybody, right? So that's one thing that you can do. Find what someone is missing or what they are really attracted to and give them some adventure, give them something new. But you have to communicate with the person. You need to be on their mind or in their path, or yeah, like if you know this person if you know them in real life, right? I would say give them something where they have to use it every day or they have to look at it every day, like maybe a watch, something like that, or a plant, right? But enchant the object with your energy, rub it all over yourself, put it in some herbs, put it with your crystals, do something like that, so where you make it a enchanted item now. and they have to wear it. They have to constantly be thinking about you. So you want to do things of that nature, right? And using perfumes, using flagrant scents like vanilla, that's divine. I love gourmand scents. I love smelling like anything sweet, like sugary, cookies, oranges, nectar, honey, things like that. Use that in your working, use it on your body, and it will draw lots of love, lots of affection to you, right? It will make people be captivated by you, and it will set a good framework for the workings that you do. You want it to smell inviting. You want it to smell sweet. The purpose of it is to sweeten someone up, sweeten them. You do that first before you subtly start getting more forceful with it, more aggressive, right? So, we're going to get into the next topic. So, this is a little bit spicy, so please be 18 and up to listen to this next part. Sometimes people use sexual fluids in their work, such as like menstrual blood. Now, blood, it can be very binding, it can be strong, right? And I recommend doing it on someone that you're sure you really want them in your life and that you actually like, because it will strengthen the work. But also, here's the caveat: it will bring that seductive energy using your menstrual blood, right? It will bring it. It will bind the person to you. It will make them drawn to you. It will make them fixate on you, right? It can. It can if you know what you're doing, right? But this is also kind of where we're getting down the line of you might cross yourself up. So sometimes it's really difficult to do love magic on others. Unless this is a work for hire, then you may not get attached to that person. But it is really, really, really difficult, especially if you're sensitive to energies. It's difficult to do this kind of work without getting involved, right? It can be hard to do that. Because sometimes when you're doing it on someone and you're wanting to bring them to you, you're the cat, you're the predator, right? And this person is your prey. You want them to come to you so you can have them, right? But the thing is, when you're doing all of this and you're raising all of this sexual energy and you're drawing them to you, you're dominating them, that energy can make you feel a type of way. Because if they are coming towards you or they're paying attention to you, sometimes it creates like a psychic link or a spiritual link between the two of you, especially if you're using blood or binding them to you. It can create a bond between the two of you. And you can develop strong feelings for the person or stronger feelings for the person. Or if this was someone that you were doing work on for fun, you can develop feelings for them. So I would say just exercise a degree of caution and just kind of remember to separate yourself from the working a little bit, or maybe cleanse yourself after you're doing workings like this, because it can get heavy and it's severely emotionally draining and involved. Now, for men can use sperm for this work to raise sexual power and to bring about passion and all of this. And you can, of course, use vaginal fluids as well. So this is kind of under the realm of sex magic a little bit, but this is something that you can use to make your partner more committed or more sticking with you and everything of that nature. So another working that I've seen with this is that sometimes people will use like fruits that resemble like a vagina or a banana or phallic like to keep a partner loyal to them. And they might say, you will only get hot and bothered for me. You will only rise and grow for me. And with that, I would use domination herbs, of course, to make it hot, and maybe a little bit of romantic herbs in that mix as well. But definitely using some kind of string to bind that that fruit up, or vegetable, whatever you choose to use, to make them loyal and committed to you. You can also utilize sexual fluids in that as well. Like, for example, if you take a condom after sex, then you can utilize what's in the condom, the sperm, and use that to keep them loyal and faithful. That's what I've read. That's not what I put into practice. I just want to put a disclaimer on that. But I have seen people do something like that. So we talked about how sometimes you can get involved now, and I feel like that's a really big one to touch base on, that sometimes it can make you feel some type of way. Now let's talk about, how does it feel to have love work on you? So I'm going to be speaking from personal experience. So everybody's different, and based on what someone does to you, how nice or how mean they are to you, it can change. Now, lucky for me, the person that was doing it was nice, and I didn't get turned every which way but loose. So a way that you can tell that someone is doing love and work on you is if you all of a sudden start thinking about this person, right? And you may not have ever had a crush on them. You might have known them for a short time or a long time, but all of a sudden you're like, that person looks cute, right? Or I find them attractive. And you might be saying, okay, all right, maybe just another day. And then you'll probably really start to notice when maybe in your dreams, you might start dreaming about this person. Like, I've had people tell me, oh, I had a dream about you, and it was a spicy dream. I said, oh, really? That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know nothing about that. Definitely not. But you might start dreaming about this person, or you might wake up and you might feel, sensual or spicy, and start having visions of this person, or they come to your mind, right? So that's kind of one of the ways that you can pick up on someone that is, maybe they just like you, maybe they just have a crush on you, or maybe they're actively doing some type of work on you. So that's one of the ways that you can tell. And that's kind of I feel like that's kind of common for people that are targets of work, is that they start thinking about this person in a way that they've never thought about them before, and start being more attracted to them, and showing up in dreams and in their minds, in their thoughts. It can drive them wild, drive them crazy. So let's talk about poppets, utilizing love poppets for this kind of work. So using poppets or making poppets, it's complicated work. It's complicated work. It's not easy. And this is kind of one of the workings where you have to interact with it on a daily basis, to really see results. But I would do candle workings in tandem with poppet work. So one of the things that you can do with the poppets is, let me see if I have some in here. Okay. I have one that is bound. So we're just going to use this as an example. So this is the head of it, right? You're going to speak to the puppet, and you're going to tell it over the head, and you're going to say, oh, all the dirty things. You're going to say everything that you want this person to do to you, all of your fantasies, all of your desires, all of your dreams. You're going to say, you're going to come to me. You can't eat without thinking about me. You can't sleep. You can't do anything. You can't function. I'm in your system. I'm everywhere. I'm in your lungs. Things like that. And you're going to speak it over the head. And you got to do that morning, day, maybe sometime in the afternoon. And I feel like that's probably enough, but you can imagine what else you can do with the puppets. So yeah, that has been. Oh wait, no, hold on. I have something else for y'all. So let me tell y'all something. So when y'all want to do a like a little preparation for dates and stuff like that, what I like to do is I like to do a traction bath. But let me just warn y'all, do not do this if you think that the person is ugly or weird, because this person will be all over you. Like, I've had men ask me to like pick me up, like first date asking to pick me up or trying to pick me up, kiss me, swaddle me like I'm a baby, hold my hand, be all over me, try to hug me multiple times, all on the first date. And these were, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. But I'm gonna tell you what I would do. I would use like essential herbs, love herbs, hibiscus, rose, jasmine, vanilla. Use like a rose scented bubble bath, and I would just kind of bless the herbs. I speak to all of my herbs and I tell them what I want them to do. Make me sexy, make me alluring. You can add Damiana, and I would make sure that I smelled like heaven. So I use a lot of gourmand fragrances. I really like the the Arab perfumes. They're amazing. Like one of my perfumes right here from Bath and Body Works, what is she? Perfect in Pink. And it has notes of vibrant cherries, pink camellia, whipped almond cream. It smells delicious. I love it. So I like fragrances like that. A little Miss Dior, if you want to be like floral and everything. I love to do things like that. Make sure that you're smelling good. And I put a little bit of Florida water on myself just to be cleansed and everything. And also make a love oil or an attraction oil with these romantic herbs and a little bit of your sexual fluids if you want to spice things up. And these people, whoever you're going on a date with, put it all over you. They will be attracted to you. Now, after the love bath, you do not want to pat yourself off. Just dry down. And you can probably use like a vanilla incense or something that's sweet smelling to just smoke cleanse all over yourself, and trust you'll be good. And when you're doing your makeup or prepping yourself, just think to yourself, like, I am seductive, I'm alluring, I'm beautiful, I'm stunning, I'm so captivating, you can't keep your eyes off me, you can't keep your hands off me, I'm the hottest thing in the world. That's how you have to do it. Like, I do a lot of these glamour work and seductive work to like really increase my beauty and make my aura very seductive, attractive. So that's kind of what I like to do, and to bring in people, bring in friends, bring in anybody. So that's something that you can do if you want to be more alluring. And you can pre-prep this bath and make like a love or attraction sour gel or soap or body wash. You can do that, so it's just constantly on you and in your aura. So that's something that I like to do. All right, so we're gonna do our card of the day, and the deck that I'm using is Tarot of the Divine by Yoshitani. Beautiful. I just absolutely adore it and love it. So let's start pulling. What is our card of the day? Oh God, that one flew clean across, out my door, under the floor. So the card of the day is the Ten of Coins. The Ten of Coins represents emotional stability or financial stability. That's what it represents. Financial stability, sense of security, wealth. And I really relate it with family because you see everybody here. It's like everything that you could wish for on earth. And remember that the coins or pentacles suit always represents things that is earthly, things that are mundane, tactical. But yeah, this is everything that you could want material wise. You have your possessions, the house is good, everything is good. So hopefully, if you're wanting to bring back a lover, they're stable, they're secure. Maybe throw in a little 10 of coins in there, you get everything that you want. So that has been the card of the day for you. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, or any topics that y'all want me to touch base on, please reach out to me on Instagram at cultofagoddess or on TikTok. Shoot me a message. I love to hear from y'all. And if y'all want any readings or any spiritual consultations, you can check out my shop in the description of the episode. It's called AsteriaDivine on Etsy. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Kisses, and have a very, very happy Valentine's Day that is coming up soon.